that we do, and we'll be putting it up on our YouTube. And I encourage everybody that's in Koto, one of them, to record it as well. Okay. So then, so the format we're going to do today is we're going to do questions, but we're going to do it after we introduce the leadership of Koto. Okay, so when we want the questions, they're going to be in a question format, or we're not really gonna be looking for them. So, and keep your questions like short, and try not to spam the chat with caps because you'll get banned. And we're actually not here to, like, if I see people start attacking the guild over little things, we're just gonna ban you right away. We're not here to fight over the guild. We're here to let the guild talk about who they are and what they're doing for the game. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna Cuthrow's coming up first. He's gonna talk just a little bit about himself and the guild. So we'll let him take over there. Uh, Go ahead, Cutthrow.
Sure. So, um, I mean, I'm Kufara. A lot of you probably know me. I think my name's been around for quite a long time in Mortal Online. I was around in the first one for an extensive amount of time during different stages. Obviously, came into the second one about 2 months ago, and we picked up on this. Everyone kept poking me, saying, "You know what, Kufara, you need to get into this. It's looking good." And I finally took the bait and I got onto it. So we're starting to pick up pace now and pull in everyone from the old Koto. A lot of the names that you probably heard from the original are coming back, all of our core veterans. And I guess, do you want me to talk about the guild now, or do you want to
Uh,
introduce the other guys
let's
first?
Yeah, let's do your officers next, so everybody knows who they are. So if there's any new people in the chat and you want to get a hold of one of the officers, they'll be their names.
Fantastic. So we'll start with Bloody Houndman. He's our recruitment officer. Um, First person a lot of you guys will probably speak to if you wanted to join us. He joined us into Kodo a few years ago now, when we were playing Naval Action actually, which is where his sort of name comes from. And Hound, do you want to take it from there, mate?
Well, I do recruitment, obviously. So, if you want to join the Koto, you can find us on Mortal Online official Discord, on the forums. We don't have a website at the moment, so it's all done via the Discord. And as for who we recruit, we pretty much recruit everyone who follows the same goal as us, like which is anti-RPK. And we generally have a chill attitude, happy to take on new players as well. We have plenty of people who help new players out, and others that help, the new players that help other new players out. They all learn together. And we take on vets too. Like we're not, we don't we don't judge. It's a new game, so
Yeah, I think that's important that we leave MO1 in the dust and move ahead on the new game.
yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I never played Mortal Online 1, but I heard some good things about it.
Yeah,
And we're
wicked
trying to be
game.
as new, new player friendly as possible.
Mm.
Because MO can be a watch place, so we want to help people out.
And
Hmm.
a fun fact there actually is Bloody Hound lives about 10 minutes away from me, so if he's not doing his job, he knows I'm going to be knocking on his door.
Perfect. All right, who do we got next for the officer?
I'd say probably Citizen. He's played with us for a very long time now. God, it must be almost a decade, Sid. Serious amount of time. He played with us in Mortal Online 1,
Yes.
and he's our quartermaster. Sid?
So I'm just making sure to look after everyone's status on the gear side if we're ever going to sort of a war situation. We need to know how well we're basically prepared for those types of situations. I work quite a lot with Ranku, and we just try to make sure everyone is prepared and basically just helping people out to know exactly what they need in sort of a PvP situation.
Okay, that's good.
Next one down on the list is Crayon. He's one of our American officers. He's been with us probably the longest out of everyone here, I'd say, Crayon. I think that's right.
Oh yeah,
Previously Elysium, joined us with a lot of the other Elysium guys back in the day, and he's one of our American officers. Grim?
Yeah, I was playing MO1 since its very first beta, very similar to this one, but this one is way better. Yeah, I was around when Kuthara washed up on the shores of Meduli. Watched him rise through the ranks and take it over. I wasn't playing Mortal for a really long time. I quit. Came back because I heard Kuthar was getting the boys back together. The game looks great, and I'm happy to help with anything the guild needs. I handle a lot of like new players and their questions. They want to contribute all the time. They want to go on events and runs to do stuff. So I just help, teach them what to do, how to do it. A lot of non-Koto people always have questions for us. They like to help us out. A lot of them don't want to join a guild, so they just want to play the game, but they don't want to be. I mean, they hold the same values that we do. So I work with them a lot.
That's
Yeah,
excellent.
just otherwise organizing things.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, next one.
And last but not least, Ranku. He's been with us quite a long time as well. He joined when Citizen did from a previous guild, and he is our resource manager. Ranku, do you want to say a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, where this sort of divvies out and find out what we actually need, I am the one in charge of getting it, both for the guild and also for individual players. So I mostly just gather up a bunch of people and go out and get what they need, whether that be scales, steel, whatever.
Okay. I see. Yep. So all the farming stuff. Like if you're doing mining, you guys do. Are you doing? So you're looking after like mining operations. You would go out and organize a bunch of people to go out and mine. Like you need this much and bring it back, type of thing.
Yeah, go out and mine like
Yeah.
60, 100 stacks of calyx or whatever.
Yeah.
It's always more fun to do in a group anyway.
Absolutely. Safety.
Yeah, and I think just we do tend to do everything on an industrial scale at the minute. We don't go out and farm 10 stats. We go out and farm 100 stats and just pull it all back in. And
Yeah.
then that's just sort of filtered out through Ranku and Citizen and the other officers to the guild.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. So was that the last officer?
That's the last I've brought with me.
Okay.
We do have several others, which unfortunately couldn't make it today.
Okay.
You're missing some of our key ones.
All right.
But
if you wanna plug their name, go ahead. That's fine. We'll take the time for that because if they're doing the work, they need a plug as well. If you want to go ahead and just mention their names quickly.
I mean, we've got Spirit Wolf. A lot of you might know Spirit Wolf. He's a very famous Spirit Wolf. Bass Hunter actually did a song about him back in the day, so you can always look him up on YouTube and you'll hear about him. We do have sub officers as well, so we've got a big group of people that help us with guild management. People like Wonder, General But Naked, who does a lot of YouTube training videos you'll see with Wolfsight. About how to fight and stuff like that. We've got our PvP guys like Hog, Zon, Conrador, and then we've got a whole host of American officers as well supporting us, like Staff, Ressa, Granola Bear. We do have quite a large officer team due to the size of the guild, and then beneath those we actually have a support rank as well, where we have 10 to 15 guys that are just dedicated to supporting new guys, answering questions, and just helping out where we can.
So I bet you've seen your ranks explode a little bit over this time, eh?
They do.
Yeah.
And I think one of the key people I've missed out here is sort of second in command of Koto, and he's our silent officer, I would say, is Pockets.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows Pockets. He's probably more famous than I am at this point. Made the Mortal Online map, and he's a key member of the guild.
Excellent. Yeah, don't forget that guy, right? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the ethos of the guild, like what your hardcore standing for, and what all your guys believe in, and what when they join the guild they believe that's what you guys are going to try to accomplish with them.
Yeah, I guess our ethos at the sort of top level is pretty simple. We're an anti-griefer guild, just there to have fun. Try to support new people coming into the game. Try to make it so that people aren't just walking outside of a town and getting killed instantly by a group of people. We try and offer our knowledge and support to anybody within the town of Meduli. Obviously in MO1 we controlled Meduli for several periods within the game, and we're sort of looking at trying to do the same thing with an MO2 and just try and stabilize the town do what we can. We'll never stop all griefers; it's an impossible task. But we do what we can to make it a safe environment and a trade hub.
Yes.
I think we've been relatively successful so far, but we'll improve. We're learning how to combat with reefers, and as mechanics start to flesh out, we're going to be using those to sort of get it into a better place.
Yeah. Okay, so now for the plans for the guild, like down the road, are you guys planning on building your own keeps and building your own cities inside the keep? Or are you gonna move out a bit from Medullii? Or are you gonna keep everything just in that area and try to like section the whole thing off that you can be in town and still have your own keep a little bit away from there? Because there is spots for keeps out there, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll ever go into sectioning stuff off. We've always been anti sort of
Yeah.
walls. We don't like to barricade off areas of the game.
Yeah.
We will obviously, if we go down the route of having a keep, and that's what we're looking at the moment, that will be walled off, and we'll have our guild only
Mhm.
area within that. But we're also looking at building up the area around Medullii to allow additional places and resources and utilities for the people of Medullii.
Mhm.
So yeah, we are certainly looking at expanding into territory control once it comes in,
Yeah.
and if we get the opportunity, obviously we're going to look at taking Medullii over.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you guys are well on your way for that. Now, for the questions from the chat, if you guys are all ready to start pumping some questions here at your leadership, when you ask a question, it has to go into brackets. Okay, so keep them short, but we'll start taking questions here in the next minute or two. And from Cuthra, he can talk about anything that he wants to throw at the chat right now. We have 90 people in here, so anything he wants to say for people and new people that are around, he's gonna do that right now. We'll just give him a couple minutes, and then we're gonna start taking questions. So you guys can start putting your questions in the chat right now, and I'll just slow it down for him. So Cuthra, go ahead, and if any of your officers have anything they want to add in, feel free. Okay, so the floor is yours. You guys just let her go.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much. And I mean, firstly, probably give you a little bit more background on Koto itself. We are coming on for 20 years old now as a guild. Not everybody's obviously been with us since the start. We started off in World of Warcraft and then progressed through several games. We tend to keep our core together. Obviously, we're bringing our core into Mortal Online 2 now. We're not an ARPK guild, and I know a lot of people seem to point at us and say, you're ARPK, you just fight the RPKers. We're not RPK either. We're not the White Knights. We will protect the Medullii area. If it's sand, we'll probably protect it. Outside of that, we will go on roams and we will engage in open PvP with everybody. We tend to steer away from killing new people. If we're out with 10, 15, 20 people and we stumble up across a new guy, obvious new guy, we're just going to say hello and carry on. It's not what we're about. If we stumble up across, PvP force, we're going to engage with them.
Okay, good. So we need some questions in chat, guys. Start throwing them in there. We're a little shy on questions. So, Bloody Hound, can we get a little bit of background on you from the game? Just a
On
little.
Mortal Online,
Yeah,
only recently 2 weeks ago.
really.
So yeah, Kufara asked me to come in help him out.
Okay. All right.
I don't know too much online, but I'm from Naval Action, where I'm a pirate and all that stuff. So yahar.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then with Sid, if we can talk about a little bit more about the gear and stuff that you look after. If you got some, you could add to that for me a little bit until we get some questions going in here in chat.
Yeah, so basically, the our whole idea of being the quartermaster is just trying to make sure we know exactly how many people are sort of PvP ready. So if we ever go into a situation where, say, we're at war with an actual other guild, we can quickly say, right, we've got a certain X amount of members who are ready and have sort of backup sets of armor to deal with the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I thought it would be some relatively sort of a simple job when it first started, but with the size of Kodo now, it's probably easier to herd actual cats.
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you guys blew up pretty good there. All right, we're gonna take some of these questions, but they're Tasty Bison wants to know. It says Kodo or griefers, so we're
I'm
just
happy to take that question
sure.
actually.
Go ahead, brother. You knew it was coming.
So we do get this, and it's understandable that obviously some people will feel that way.
Mhm.
We do hold Meduli quite tightly.
Mhm.
We generally only react. We're a reactive guild. If someone starts hostilities with us, we will respond in kind. We're not
Yep.
the sort of guys that are just going to sit back and let people consistently push us. So we do respond, and obviously some people don't like that. They don't like when people push back.
Yes.
So we do often get the Koto griefers because we're killing somebody. We're killing somebody for a reason.
Yeah.
And I know Tasty. I know Bison, and
Okay.
he engages in PvP against us with our enemy guild. So
There you go.
obviously we're gonna treat him hostily. However, earlier today, Tasty, we found you out by the graveyard alone, and we could have zeroed you down. Instead, we gave you a 1v1 with myself. We do offer stuff like that. We try our best to be a fair guild. We're not going to stand there and just shit talk you after that. We'll
Mhm.
say, good fight, as we did, and carry on. We don't hate the people we fight. It causes content. If there was no one to fight, we'd have nothing to do.
Yeah.
But people do, I guess, get a little bit, I don't know, trolley and
Mhm.
stuff like that when we kill them, and that's part of the game, I guess.
Yeah.
We do what we can, and we're griefer immune, I would say by now. We've spent 10 years in ML1. You
Yeah.
can't really grief Koto anymore. We've seen it all. If
Yeah.
you come up with something new, awesome. That'd be fantastic to see. But we've seen it all before.
Okay. Just I got to give a quick shout out to Gamer for you. Fun to you. Sorry. Came in with a rate of 32. Thanks very much, everybody. I appreciate that. That was super duper. Tasty, I hope that answered your question, and obviously he didn't shy away from it. So, Cuthrow's recording this. Yes, he is. I'm sure we're all recording it. Pretty sure. Okay, that's not questions. I'm a blue player being constantly grieved. Okay, you already had your crack, brother. You're good. Be advised if you are in a group or guild or a clan that is Kodo shit list, you will be killed. Just like everybody else, guys. You can't run around and attack their players and think that there's going to be no repercussions. Okay, it's just not going to happen. That's any guild. That's just 101 Mortal Online. Period. So, anything else takes Legion.
Yeah. That does always come as a shock to some people, I think, Brat,
Yeah,
where they'll go and kill somebody and then wonder why they're being killed.
yeah,
It never ceases to amaze me, their reaction to it sometimes.
yeah. Well, how many people are on your KOS list already? You know what I mean? And it's pre-release. So,
Our KOS list, I would say, is actually relatively short considering we've got a few guilds on there, which engage in PvP against us. We've got
yeah.
a number of individuals on there, but we often review it, and we drop
Mhm.
people off it if they haven't been causing issues.
Yeah.
And people are always welcome to come and talk to us and say, look, you know what, I was hostile against you. I don't want to be that way anymore.
Yeah.
And we'll happily have that discussion with them, and take that into merit and take them off it. We don't want people on our KOS list. We don't want people on the shit list.
Exactly.
We put them on there for a reason. And
Mhm.
if people just want to live around Maduli, and abide by what we put in place, then that's fine. If they don't, we fight with them. It's either way. It doesn't matter.
Okay, we got Malcali has a question. He says, "What can a new player expect from joining Kodo?" And Cutthroat, you can probably take that if you want, or your
I think I'll pass it on. Actually, I think
yeah.
Hound's had a little
Hound.
to say already. So Crayon, do you wanna field that one, mate?
Yeah, I can talk on that. I do deal with a lot of the new people that join into Kodo when I can, as it is. So,
Yes.
what the first thing you can expect is the two pre-Kodo bosses. One is Bloody, who will give you a quick interrogation, and then the other is the login boss, which has been fairly easy to beat lately. Uh, but once you're in and you get to Meduli, you can expect a Discord, a pretty organized Discord that we're always working on, where you can ask questions. You can at various crafters or other professions that can answer different things. I mean, no one person can handle everything in Mortal Online. So a new player coming in, you never know what they're going to want to do. Are they going to alchemy, butchery, whatever it is? And to be able to field all those 250 people coming in. Seed is actually he does a great job with the Discord, making sure it's organized so people can ask those questions and find the right people pretty seamlessly.
Wow, that's crazy. 250 people. You guys are rocking, eh? That's great.
Yeah. And then, it's not active, 250 all the time, but these are people interested in the game that are just looking for help getting started, and that's what you're going to get. You're going to get directions to Meduli. You're going to get shown around town if you want to. I've done a couple tours, show you where everything's at, and introduce you to the people that can help. You can expect announcements when we do various events. I mean, I'm actually currently on a lizard run with a few of our guys. So in between this, I'm fighting lizards and almost dying and making myself look bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we organize events to get materials. We teach the people, you want an armor set? Well, this is what you got to bring the crafter. And so essentially you'll get to play the game freely without the constant harassment of people that will grief you. And it's going to happen still, but you have a support system. You die, you lose all your shit, we might be able to get it back for you. We do have, we're not a call to arms. You don't join us just to get like an extra guard force, but if you let us know, hey, I'm doing this thing and I might need some help, you might get a little group together that can protect you. So you can, I guess to sum it up, you can expect a good support system when you join Koto.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's going to be key for this game because there's going to be so many people in it, and the open world PvP is going to be phenomenal. I'm sure. Okay, we have another question. Exuric_AJ. Hi, where did Koto's keep? Where was you keep in MO1? So whoever wants to grab that one.
Rantu, Sid, you want to take that one? Obviously, we've had more than one keep.
Yeah, it's like, where haven't it been? Obviously, it's been every single keep spot near Meduli. We also had one or two on Saduka at some point. That was probably after I left.
Yeah, we did.
We also had one down in the jungle.
Yeah, so I think over the years, and obviously with 10 years, as with every guild, we've had keeps, we've lost keeps. We've won wars, we've lost wars. We do always tend to stick quite close to Meduli. With our keeps, we owned at one point the keep between Meduli and Fabinum, I think, was our first. Then we took the keep between Meduli and Vada. We had one of the southern keeps as a second keep at one point when we owned two. And then eventually we moved to Saduka to try that out when Saduka came out. Obviously, we didn't really get on with Saduka. It was a bit of an empty place, and shortly after that we left and we just sort of let the keep fall apart, I guess.
Yeah.
But we've had several keeps in the game.
Okay. AJ_AJ. I hope that answered your question. He just said your main one was probably by Meduli. I was like, yeah, it probably was. Does Koto have any allies or enemies carrying over from MO1 right now? That's from Whiskey Barrel 03.
I should probably answer that one, I guess. So allies, yeah, for sure. So our main ally is ES. We don't see too much of them these days because they live on the other side of the map to us. But we've got a very unique relationship with ES. We actually fought against them for about 2 years. We exchanged sieges, we exchanged pleasantries, and then eventually we've somehow found ourselves on the same side. After that, we've kept a very close relationship with the guys. They actually joined us at multiple points, and Koto and ES became Escrow before dividing back up as we came into new games. They joined us on Naval Action as well. So, ES is probably the only guild in the game currently that can say, hey boys, we need your help, and we'll come across the map, no questions asked. We'll be there to support them in whatever they're doing. They don't need to really justify it to us because they're good guys.
Yeah, that's interesting.
As for other allies, no, we don't have any other allies. We do have some friends. We consider ourselves friendly status with any Meduli guild that isn't on our shit list, and there are lots of them.
Yeah, I bet there is.
If you're living in Meduli, you know what? You're automatically friendly to us as long as you're not causing issues. Yep. And we extend our sort of protection to those guilds as well. If they're being attacked in the area, we're going to come and defend them. We're relatively friendly with some of the other guilds like AC. He puts in talks regularly. We're not allied, but we're friends. You know, I like what those guys are trying to do in Fabadom.
Mhm.
Very similar to what we're doing in Meduli. Um,
Do they have the numbers
from
over
a,
there to hold Faberton though?
I mean, I haven't been to Fabadom for quite a while. We took, I think, 20, 30 people up there every other
Okay.
week, start a stress test, and they were doing a pretty good job. You know, we came in
Excellent.
and they were chasing people out, they were chasing grievers out and killing them. So, yeah, I think they're trying to do very similar things to what we're doing currently in Meduli. So, yeah, I like what they're doing. We're friendly with them. You know, we'll probably end up doing some fun PvP with them at some point. You know, some consensual PvP and stuff like that because
Yep.
they're very alike to what we are. You know, they help new guys. From an enemy perspective, I guess we potentially do have some enemies that will probably follow over from MO1. Most of them more to do with people still being I guess sore because at some point we've destroyed their houses, their keeps, and stuff like that. And it is what happens. Everyone's been at war with everybody else at some point. And after 10 years of MO1, would we consider ourselves hostile with any other guild? Potentially ID. For obvious reasons. If ID decided they were going to come back, we might say,
Mhm.
well, you know what? Let's have some fun with that because ultimately, you need a rival, and a rival makes a good rival. You know what?
Yeah.
Um, Other guilds, I know I saw someone actually ask earlier, why is Koto hostile with Legion? Why does Koto hate Legion? We don't hate Legion at all. I talk to Victors quite often. I talk to
I think it was just
several
a
of the.
fight. Eh? It was just you guys wanted some PvP, man. That's all it was.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
we talk with many of the Legion guys quite often in the
Absolutely.
chat,
There's
and
some in chat here
Richard
right now.
messages me, and they lived in at the start of stress test. Several of them were living in Meduli, and it's we left them
Mhm.
be. It's we like Legion. We like fighting Legion. I
Yeah.
think is more to it. Legion's got a good solid set of vets, and they put up a good fight.
Yeah.
It's good fun, and we look forward to seeing more of them.
Excellent. MacDon has a question. Can you answer this? Does Meduli hold any tactical position for you?
I mean, it's full of Sabora, right? It's the
Yeah.
rarest resource in the game, so we're going to protect it. Like, from a tactical position, we hold Meduli for, we held it in MO1, so I guess it's sort of where would we go? Where would Koto go if it wasn't Meduli? It's what we live for.
Yeah.
It's a nice position to be in. It serves our purpose very nicely because we are often a heavily mounted force, and the Meduli planes are perfect for large mounted rounds, mounted archers, mounted mages, mounted combat. Hopefully, when it comes in. Um, so it suits us very well. It has got good resources all around it. The only thing it's probably lacking is the ability to produce massive amount of steel, which can be done, in other places in the game and then brought back. But Meduli itself, we've always liked it.
Okay, I just want to reiterate to you guys, just make your questions short. Mr. Spanish, I didn't see it. Like if the mod took it out, you got to make it short, dude. But put it back in. I'll get to it. The chat is slow right now, so I can get to the questions. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, he said thanks. Tasty Bison back in again, eh? I don't want to type it all out again. Okay, I'm sorry, dude. As a new recruit in Koto, I would become myself useful. Yeah, he wants to. He's basically what's his name? External, I think it says. He wants to know if he's a new guy. Basically, how do I get higher up in the guild? It kind of looks like the question
So I
is.
mean, I'm sure Sid and Ranch will probably jump in a minute about resources, but I mean, from my perspective, everybody's useful, right? It doesn't matter
Yeah,
what playstyle you've got. You could come into the guild and be a PvP legend, and not do any
yeah,
crafting. Awesome, we got a place for that. Come into the guild and just want to make swords. Awesome, we've got a place for that. We have a place for everybody within the guild. If you want to be useful, we'd always find something you could be supporting on, whether that's helping newer players out or bringing materials in or crafting something specifically, or just showing up and being a
yeah,
another person in a fight, and someone that can support that
yeah.
fight going forwards. There'll always be a place for people. Sid Ranku, I mean, from a resource perspective, you guys might want to say how a new guy could bring you loads of goodies. So, one of you guys want to jump in?
Yeah, absolutely. We always can use more Grand and more Callets. But if you're completely new and you're in the situation where you're trying to figure out what you actually would like to do in Mortal, I'll highly recommend just jumping around between the hunting and mining channels we have. There's usually always some people there doing something interesting. So that would be the best way of finding out, what can I do? How can I help?
And I think our other main big point is we don't expect people in the guild to sort of contribute to the guild straight away. Our main focus is for new players to become as self-sufficient as they possibly can first of all, and then once they've got that locked down, then if they want to support the guild, then we're more than willing to take resources from them if they want to.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, Sid, is we do try and get people up on their own feet before, we start asking. We don't have a tats as a guild. We're not the
yes,
sort of guild that's going to say we want X amount of gold a month or a week or whatever like that. We don't believe in that.
yes,
Um, what we do say, however, is if we're working towards a goal, and we will have goals sometimes, it might be, collect this amount of resource, or it might be, we need gold for the guilds. And the goals for the guilds is probably a really good one to say because we've got 5 guilds about to make our 6th. That's over 1,000 gold, and
hmm
all we have to do for that is say, look, guys, we're looking for gold, and you'd be surprised how quickly that gold comes in from the guild
yeah,
because we're not regularly taxing them. We just, people in our guild have the same ethos as us. It's a guild, you know what? We're all working together for the same aim, and we share resources out between each other. Is how it is. How it works.
yeah. That's good. I like that. I like that. Okay, we got. I hope that answered your question there, external. Mike Nasty. Okay, here you go, guys. Ask them why they are so bad. Okay, that doesn't really mean much. We'll go to the second part of his question here, and he says, "Why did they lose your keeps in MO1?" You guys can answer that or not
I
even.
mean,
Like,
we're
come on.
pretty terrible. I'm probably the worst fighter in the game. No, I'm just joking. I mean, everyone loses at some point. You
Yeah,
can't win all the time, every time. Anybody that says they never lose is lying.
yeah,
And what you see in a lot of these PvP videos is they cut out when they die.
yeah,
When I've done videos in the past, you'll see me die over and over because that's what happens.
yeah.
If you're
It's
not
life.
dying, you probably just haven't got the conads to go into a proper fight.
Yeah,
So I mean, we lost our first keep under contentious circumstances, but
okay.
basically it ended up where there was a server war, everyone against AQ, and we thought, you know what, let's join the AQ side first. It's going to be fun, and that's what we did. We joined the smaller side of it, and we had a whole lot of fun. We ended up with the entire server turning up outside our keep, ready to siege it, and they said, if you break your alliance with AQ, and we'll let you keep stand. And we basically gave them a middle finger and said, no, if you want to siege us. We're not going to back down, and we never back down.
Yeah,
So we lost a keep, and I think that's the only keep we lost where it was sieged.
okay.
Um, but
That's
yeah, I mean,
maybe they don't know the lore of MO1. That's probably why I wanted you to explain that because he's putting that in chat, but he's not giving any, you know, backup
yeah.
to it. It's a blurb word really. So,
And
uh,
it was a fun fight. We will never back down from a fight. That's what we do. We're the sort of people where you can siege us, and they sieged us. They took down our keep, and a few months later, we came back and we took down several keeps. It's what we do. It's
yeah,
we've got sort of a mentality where you can beat us. You can beat us. We're not infallible. You can beat us, but we're not the sort of people that's going to cry about it. We'll just regear and we'll be back. We'll be ready for the fight again. That's what we do.
yeah. Trippy Turtle. We're not. That's not even a question, dude. Give the questions, guys. Give something with substance. Just throwing out slurs is not helping anything really. Like people are in here to learn about the guild. We're not in here to learn about like 1v1 fights. He already answered that at the start, so we're not going to do that. Taste.
I mean, what I will say on that, right,
Go
is
ahead.
anyone's welcome to come a 1v1 me.
There you go.
Anyone. I love it. I love it. Just
Yeah,
if you want a 1v1, turn up in Medulla, you find me and say, look, Truth, do you want to do a 1v1? We'll find somewhere, we'll have a 1v1. If I win, I'm not going to take your stuff, I'll leave it. But, it's just good fun. It's a game. It's what
I
it's
know.
about.
So that's the thing with MO1. It got so personal every time that it took the fun out of it for a lot of people, and that's why a lot of people quit the game. Honestly, like it got so
Mhm.
toxic. Like we're trying to steer away from all that stuff.
And I mean, I'm not all about reputation. I find that some guilds sometimes, or some people sometimes, are too afraid to do something because they're afraid of losing reputation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid to lose. It's all
Yeah.
about building it up. So I'll happily fight anybody, and the same with Koto. We'll happily fight anybody. It's what we are. We're
Yeah.
not afraid to lose.
Tasty Mike, you gone? I hope I answered your question there for you. Next Mandate said, "Oh, it was fun taking down their keep." Like, if anybody played on MO1 and was in a keep siege and you got somebody's keep down, that was fun. I don't care what side you were on. It wasn't fun losing it, but it was fun taking it. And usually that changed hands quite a few times. Tasty, you're on KOS list. Okay. Questions, guys. Now you're attacking each other. We're going to get away. I'll start banning people. Get some questions in there for these guys. They're here right now and they want it. They got information for you. So let her go. Let me just scroll down here a little bit more. I slowed it way down. If you guys want to ask questions, put them in a question thing for us. It makes it easier when we're scrolling down through. Return to the fountain. What is this return to the fountain thing?
So we've
Explain
got
that.
we've got a bit going on at the minute. So obviously there was a fountain in Meduli in
Yeah.
MO1, and we're currently on a sort of, I don't know, a PR piece to try and get a fountain in MO2. Now we've got to the point where
Okay.
Henrik has agreed we're going to get a fountain. He's said
Nice.
it's going on the roadmap, but we're not leaving it, man. We're continuing the push to get that fountain in Meduli, so that there's that nice, pleasant fountain in for the Meduli citizens that can come and get their free water from that fountain, and it needs to be back in there. But we have been guaranteed by Henrik that it will go in, which is pretty cool. We're currently working on the t-shirts, the hashtag Fight for Meduli t-shirts, which will be available if people want to support it. So we're doing a proper push for this.
Oh, nice. Okay, and there we got some questions. Hyena? Koto Hyena? Why can't we put brackets around the questions? Question for a question, brother. Thank you. Tasty Bison's got a question. How many guilds and active members does Koto have right now?
So how many guilds?
Yeah.
We have 5 guilds up in game at the moment. We're looking at potentially making our 6th guild. In terms of active members, I guess that fluctuates quite rapidly day on, day out.
Mm-hmm.
We can have anywhere up to 100 and plus in our Discord actively.
Jesus.
In channels, that is, with 150 to 200 just online in Discord. Generally, we've always got above 20, 15, 20 during through every time zone. So I think we're quite fortunate as a guild that we've got pretty much every time zone covered, including our AU. We've got Japanese players, we've got Australian players, lots of North American players. We've got a big group of Canadian players. We've got people from around the globe that play this game. So we do generally always have a decent force on. Obviously, with the stress test continuing, we're seeing that activity drop a little bit, as you've seen probably across the game as a whole over the last few days. Activity's dropped, but in the event, obviously, we're doing something, and we put that ping out to say, big group here, we're going for PvP. We get that flood back in from the people that are just hanging around on Discord because there's something going on, and they'll come in and they'll join back in with the stuff. So yeah, always above 10 to 15, and generally, on a good night, 50, 60 on a activity night. When we have a guild meeting or we're going out for a massive thing, up to 100.
Jesus. That's awesome, guys. Awesome. Okay, Legion Jab here. He says some of my guildies said he got griefed by Koto, and is this because of the guild tag and that's Legion? But if you're in Meduli, dude, and you guys are fighting, so
I think the Legion one's a unique case. So obviously, we do fight against Legion, and we were quite happy with some Legion members being in Meduli and us not attacking them, as long as obviously they're not causing any issues around the town. And what we did find, however, was some of their members, like it's Wicked and some of the other ones whose names escape me now, were coming around and trying to kill people at the
graveyard.
Crushers in the graveyard. And it's very hard to have when we've got so many people, and we're trying to not put too many people on the shit list, although we've still got
Yeah.
quite a lot. Is trying to just say kill Wicked of Legion, but don't kill Jab of Legion.
Yeah,
Just a little bit complicated. So
it's too complicated.
unfortunately, and Nightmare, is one of the other people that's running around the Legion tag, really griefing the town.
Yeah.
It's hard, I like some people from Legion, and I'll go past Jab, and just give them a poke and say how you doing. But ultimately, we have to do it by tags at that point, and if we've got Legion around the town causing issues, it's
like
I
open
can't
game.
really say
Yeah.
kill this guy but not this guy. It
Yeah.
just doesn't work. It just opens it up to confusion and issues.
I think that's pretty much common sense at that point. External. Sorry. Question: Is Koto planning on expanding to any other cities eventually? Where would they like to settle, excluding Meduli? That's a good question, dude. Thank you.
I don't think we are. We're not the sort of guild that wants to own everything in the game. Obviously, previously in MO1, we did expand at one point. We owned a third of the map. We owned all the southern cities, Meduli, Vada, Bati, and Moki at one point. But that was part of the war effort.
Mhm.
I don't think we want to get too big in terms of territory. We're quite happy with our little corner of sand. We like making sandcastles. So outside of that, there's so many guilds in the game. I think it'd be a little bit, I guess, bullying of us or unfair if we start saying, we want to take this area, we want to take this area, because one, it just starts to force some of the smaller guilds potentially into a position where they're having to group up or they can't get their own little spot of land, and two, it just causes tension and issues. We've got what we want, and we'll control that area. We don't want everything.
Yeah. Okay. Crisis X has a question. Actually, it's a good one too. How big do you plan on getting, and do you think you'll be a mega guild would ruin the game? Because just before you answer that, Cuthra, sorry, because there was talk of one of the guilds coming from Darkfall over that had 1,000 members.
And that's awesome, man. I would absolutely love that. I would love for these big guilds to come into Mortal, and it's got to be great for the game, right?
Yep.
Bigger population, the better it is, and that's why we welcome people like BKO. We might fight them every day, but it's great to see more people. It's great to see these other guilds coming from different games and trying it out. In terms of will we keep expanding or where we will stop expanding, it's a bit of an open one at the minute, I guess. We were surprised by how popular we were. I was never thinking about coming into this game and saying, we've got 250 people in the guild after a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. In the pre-stress test, we were rolling around with 30 vets basically and just having fun. It's expanded significantly. Koto has always been a pretty big guild. It's how we operate. We operate in large numbers, and that is generally because we often find ourselves fighting alone, and we're not the sort of guild. We don't like allying up with everybody. We don't like sort of grouping up with massive servers or alliances. We tend to say, okay, well, if we need to be able to fight them, we want to be able to fight them almost alone. We will call help if we need to, but the reason that Koto is so big is so we have that unique position where we can potentially challenge a large alliance, but as our own guild. And that allows us to say, this is how we're going to do it. This is what we're going to do. And it also means that we can, I guess, engage in PvP with a lot more guilds, because we don't have to ally with everybody. And we can have that just open PvP with everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, we'll probably continue building on what we've got. We're probably looking at, I guess, slowing down the recruitment as we go into persistence and start working with the members that we've got. So we always want to be in a position where we can offer support to everybody within the guild.
This I can't even pronounce his name. CDDIZ whatever ZYM. He wants to know, do they let super noobs in Koto? And then one of your guys answered him and said they let me in.
So Citizen, do you want to answer your own question there, mate?
Is that you,
Yeah,
Citizen?
so I just want to say that we do allow super noobs into the chat, into our guild. Prime example, Kuthara. He's in our guild.
Yeah.
So just anyone's got a chance.
Yeah. So we do allow pretty much that. It could be your first day of a game, and you say, you know what, I want to join a guild, I want to learn. Come and join us. We'll help you out. We'll help you learn. As long as you've got the same sort of mentality and ethos as us, we'll
I'm
support you. You don't have to be the best at the game.
Yeah.
It's a place for everybody.
Sorry about your name, dude. I'm like, I don't even know how you ever announced that. There,
It's busy. That's fine.
yeah, sorry, dude. I didn't see it in the Discord when I was looking. Hydru wants to know if you're going to be tightening up in the future, and you kind of touched on that. Your recruiting, you're going to tighten that up in the future as your guild goes into persistence, right?
Yeah, we certainly will a little bit. I mean, we've always been quite an open guild. As long as, like I said, they meet our guild ethos. We're not the sort of guild that's going to say, "Nah, you're too shit to join us. You're not good enough. You're not a good enough PvP. You're not a good enough crafter. You haven't got the skills." We're not like that. We're more like, you know what? Yeah, come join us. Have some fun, mate. Even if you can't PvP, come and enjoy the game. We'll support you as much as we can. We'll try and teach you. We'll try and get you into position. And you know what? We've got people in the game, in the guild, that no matter how much we teach them about PvP, they'll never be like your best PvP in the game, and
Yeah.
they know that, we know that, but we're not going to kick them out because you know what, they're part of the community, and
Yeah.
I'm not the sort of person that's going to stop them from playing the game because it might make us look bad if they get killed on the battlefield. It's not what it's about. As long as they're enjoying it, why shouldn't they? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Why shouldn't they experience that?
You know what? Some of those guys are like hidden gems. They may become one of the best players you have in your guild and contributing stuff. Like you never know, right?
Exactly that. We might have someone that gets killed all the time, but you know what? They are the gem of the community. They give us so much back. We've got, and I'm going to say Mert. Mert, one of our guys, nicest guy in the world. He's
Yeah.
always out. He's always doing stuff. He's not the best PvP in the game. He's good. He's getting there, but he's not the best PvP in the game. But he is one of the nicest blokes you will ever meet. He spends all his time helping people out. And I'd rather have a guild full of those sort of people than a guild full of elitist PvPers that act like dicks. Do you know what I mean?
Gotcha. 100%. Okay, Mr. Spanish was in Legion, and he was getting killed because he had the Legion title, and he was new to the guild. So he didn't know why he was getting killed, and on his second part, and we already touched on this a little bit, Mr. Spanish, but I appreciate you retyping the question. I know you got cut off in the first one, but like Cuthra said, he can't pick and choose between Legion people. Like if there's 5 Legion people over there and one person's causing problems, that means everybody that has the Legion title right at that point in time is going to get cleaned up until they leave that day and come back another day when they're not being farming other people down or attacking people. So I hope that answered your question, but that was basically what he had mentioned. If you want to add to it, Cuthro, go ahead.
And just to touch on that as well, it's like if Legion wants to come over and just PvP, we'll happily do that, and we enjoy PvPing against anybody, and we won't treat them like griefers. We won't kill them in town if they're just hanging around. If they come in for PvP, if they've got people that are coming and just trying to kill people in the graveyard, and gank people around the area, that's where we make the distinction of then we need to potentially remove those people from the area. And I know it can seem a little bit harsh, but it's very hard to say, like I said, we'll kill this Legion guy, but not this Legion guy.
Yeah.
It gets very hard. And, especially when we've got so many members, you have to just distinguish it by guilds. Unfortunately, if some people in your guild are causing the issues, everybody sort of gets tarred with it. And it's the same with every guild.
Yes.
That every guild has got that person that's going to ruin it for everybody else and be a dick. In Koto, we've got some people that have in the past been dicks, and we deal with it as a guild. We understand that reflects badly on our guild, and we manage it from an officer perspective. And unfortunately, the guilds just have to manage that. They have to own up to that. Unfortunately, you might get thrown into the same tar and feather bath as the rest of the guild. Unfortunately, because one person, 2 people are causing the issues.
Absolutely, it happens all the time, and I've told people that 100 times in this game. You got one guy from your guild in there causing shit, and next thing you know, your houses and your keeps are blown up because of it. You know what I mean? RPK was famous for that. Famous for doing that to people. Retray says, sounds like a good introduction to the game, Mr. Spanish. And I want to add to that by saying, Mr. Spanish, when you join a guild, find out what's going on, dude, right away. Because what you're gonna hear is "Welcome to Mortal, friend." That's how Mortal's played. It's full of savages. Okay, we're down there. Crash. It's been explained, Mr. Spanish. We're not gonna go anymore on that. Cutthroat lives in a fantasy land filled with delusion. I don't know, man. I think
I mean,
he's doing pretty good with whatever that he's doing.
we all live in a fantasy land, right? That's what Mortal Online is.
Yes.
It's a fantasy land. I'm not going
Yeah.
to go out and start killing people in real life, am I? I'm here to
Yeah.
enjoy the game, and we're all
Yeah.
here to enjoy the game.
Now, I want to
mean-
add to that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But when you guys are saying that kind of thing, like try to run a guild. Try to run a guild with 10 people, let alone 200 and some. You got to realize you can't control people. Like people are gonna do sideways things, like, oh god, that guy's got 10 gold on him. I'll just kill him and that'll be the end of it. But that's not how it works in this game. You kill somebody for 10 gold, the repercussions can be quite serious down the road. Okay, we got another one here. Muds 25 question: any tips or tricks shot calling Discord VoIP in large guild? Like, do you mean in the battles? Like, I think most people want to use Discord because if you're using VoIP, then or VoIP, the enemy can hear you, right? So if that answers your question, if not, put it back in and elaborate a little bit more, and I'll come back to it. We'll try to sum up some questions.
Talking about the voice stuff.
Yeah.
It can get a little bit hectic in our voice channels. Even when we're not fighting, we can have 40, 50 people in a voice channel. So we do have quite a, I guess, fractured Discord, so that it's all in different channels. People can split out and do their own things. So we've got about 15 voice channels, and generally several of those will have 5, 10 people in doing different things. When it comes to a fight, and we pull everyone into a single voice channel, that's where it gets fun, because having 50 plus people in a voice channel during a fight can be really interesting. And we try and have as strict voice communications as we can. And this is one thing I will say about some of the other guilds is, like Legion, I see their VoIP when I've got 20, 30 people in, and it is crisp. I really like it. You hear Witness talking, and he's telling his guys where to go. And we try our best to get very similar within Koto, but however, because we're a lot of new guys as well, as people get very excited. People are like, I've got this guy one hit, and it's like fantastic, but I don't really need to know about it right at this point. I've just been hit by a sword. Fantastic, great, awesome. So
yeah.
Voice, when you've got that many people, can be both hilarious and frustrating.
Yeah, or when they're running back, I need peels and heals, and they're not telling you who it is, their name.
I say, I need a heal. Great, who are you? Where are you?
yeah, because it doesn't help the mages, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we can have a fight in Medulla and someone saying, "Oh, I've got this guy one hit, I'm one hit, and we're like, "Where are you?" And he's like, "I'm in Morinkur." It's like, great.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling us.
I love that, but that comes with experience. Like when you're talking about Legion and they're crisp, and I'm like, well, the core of that guild, there might be 30 guys that are, 5 to 10 year vets in that guild too, right? And they know they've been in comms for years doing that. So you guys,
when we get just our vets on, we're exactly the same. We've got that clear crisp, but we've got so many new people as well. We're trying to help them out, and we'll get into that position where we get to that environment, but due to the numbers, it's what it is. It's fun and difficult at the same time.
Yeah. Al says he's got some anxiety problems and shyness in the guild, so he's wondering how the environment would be for him, which is a legit question. Like I think Bal, like people were, pretty in this guild by the sounds of it. They're very receptive to everything, so I think he'd be fine, my friend.
Yeah, we are very chill when it comes to how much time people want to spend in the different channels, and we have channels set out just for people that don't want to be in that big environment. We've got channels that are capped to 6 people, so you could go in there with your small group and just have fun without having to partake in one of those larger channels. From an anxiety perspective, we accept people, all sorts of people into this game. All sorts of people into this guild. And not everyone is the best at socializing with people. We understand that. We'll work through it with you. We'll introduce you to the people, the guild, and then how involved you become with those channels or with those members is down to you. You can have fun with it. And I think as an officer team, we always try and help people that are potentially a little bit shy. You know, we've got people like Hound and Crayon, and Crayon. I don't know whether you want to jump in and, you know, say some of the stuff you guys have done with new guys.
Oh, I mean, well, I was gonna say, I mean, one of our pretty much a co-guild leader that he was talking about earlier, Pockets, never talks. I mean, you don't even have to talk at all. I mean, as long as you follow the 2 rules that we have, you are just fine to be whoever you are, and do whatever you want to do and speak whatever language. I mean, we do like to be able to talk to you every once in a while, and like if you need help or anything, you know, we have PMs. Like, I can't stress enough how open, at least our core. I mean, I haven't met anyone in the guild that's been unwilling to help or talk to anybody. And yeah, just whatever you need, just let us know, and we're not gonna force you to talk. That's for sure. Pockets has been in the guild since it started, and he's never talked.
It's got 10
I
words
mean,
in.
Exactly. We always try and be as open as possible. You know, we've got people in the guild that are mute, like Pockets that never talk. We've got deaf people in the guild. You know, we need to
Okay.
work around that and
Yeah.
support those guys. You know, we've got Scottish people in the guild, and just calling them guys, I hardly understand what they're saying most of the time. But we work with them. You know, it's what we is. We have all sorts of people in the guild from all sorts of, you know, backgrounds and countries, and we get through it. You know, we're not a UK only guild. We're not an EU only guild. We are very open guild to
Yeah.
everybody around the world. You know, we've got Japanese players in the guild that speak slight English, but not, you know, they're not fluent. But we
Yeah.
work with them, we get through it. And, you know, Freighter, one of our Japanese guys, he's probably killed more people in MO than anyone in this Discord, you know,
Oh,
in
really?
this Twitch.
Nice.
He's an assassin. He's awesome. He's one of our best killers in a PvP engagement. You know, there's a place for everybody, and we'll make it work.
All right. I'm going to take about 2 more questions, and then we're going to do some closing comments from Cutthroat and his officers. So I'm going to scroll down through here and try to pick out some good ones. I just saw one. Yeah, Classic. They answered that already. They do recruit newbies, so you're good, man. Get in there and do your thing. Let's see where else we got. I think we're pretty much down to the bottom here again. Yeah, okay, that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to close it out here, and we'll let Cutthroat and his officers say a few small words or whatever of what they want to reiterate, and then we're going to shut this interview down. So Cutthroat, go ahead.
Sure. I mean, obviously, one of these things is you told me to come on here and tell people about the guild and how they can join the guild. You know, I think we've done the majority of that. You can join us. We are quite open. However, I'm not going to say Koto's the only guild out there. We're not. There's a lot of really good guilds out there, and all I can really advise on is find the guild for your playstyle. It's the guild you're going to enjoy playing with the most. You know, there's some fantastic guilds out there, and they all do it slightly different. You know, we think we're quite unique in how we do stuff, but you know, you've got guilds doing all sorts of things. You've got Legion over in Vada, that's, you know, RPK killing everyone. You've got AC that are similar to us up in Fabonum. You know, you've got ES, you've got L over in Morinkur doing their thing. You've got Dread. I don't know where they are at the minute. You know, doing their thing. You know, there's a guild for everybody, and find the guild that suits you the best.
I guess Bloody's up next.
Mr. Hound, do you have any closing statements?
I do not. I'm sorry, I am recruiting at the same time as well.
It's okay.
I'm constantly recruiting. Like, I'm sorry, like it happens a lot.
I know.
What I will say is
Yes.
the best time to get Hound is about 4 a.m. in the morning. Just
Yeah.
wake him up. Just drop him, if you want to join, drop him a message on Discord. He loves it. He loves it, man. Just drop him a message on Discord at 4 a.m.
Most times of our day. But
Put his cell number in the chat if you want. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Okay. I want to thank the chat. Thanks everybody for coming by, and pound that follow button. Is there any more from the officers? Sorry.
I think we're good.
You guys all
yeah.
good?
I appreciate you having us on.
I will just end it, Brat, with Fountain for Maduli, please. Needs to happen. It's a movement. Get on board. We will get that Fountain for Maduli.
Yeah, the fountain's key, eh? Okay, I want to thank you guys very much for being the first on the interview show, eh? That's legendary right there. So we are going to follow up with more interviews of other guilds. So if anybody's in the chat and has the Discord, put it in there if they want to come on. We're going to try to do one a week right now. And hashtag fountain for Meduli. It's in there now. Now you need the shirts, eh? That's awesome. Okay, thanks very much, Chad. I appreciate everything. And whoever hasn't hit the follow, get in there and smack that for me so we can get the word out. We've got to change how we're thinking about the game and try to help the game grow instead of getting into that toxic stuff, okay? So I'm going to let these guys go. I know that it's a little later at their point in time. And I'm going to stay on stream for a couple more minutes. If anybody has any questions they want to direct at me, they can go ahead and do that. Oh, thanks for the biddies. I appreciate that, guys. So if anybody has any questions for me in general, you can go ahead and smack them at me right now. I'll stay on for another 15 minutes or so. And I just want to say thanks again for Koto for coming on, because I know it's hard to organize things like this, and it was a big deal to get going. And I appreciate everything. Thanks for the follows. I'll read the follows out there in a bit, guys.
Just before we leave as well, I will say that there'll be a new Meduli Herald coming out hopefully in a week's time. Make sure you catch it on the forums. It is the only non-biased, completely non-biased, I will repeat that, non-biased Meduli newspaper. Read it. It's got some great stuff in it.
Awesome. Okay, thanks very much, and we're gonna end the interview there. I'm gonna stop recording now, and then, like I said, if you guys have anything for me, you can slam me with those questions now, and you can call me a boomer if you want and all that stuff. Okay, thanks very much. I'm gonna end this.